We begin with a trick or treat from Indiana and Rutgers. 4th and 32, Rutgers from their own 45, and let's get weird. Shameen Jones laterals to Bo Melton, who then tosses it to Noah Verdal, who then tosses it to Raekwon O'Neal.
Just doesn't draw it up.
It just gets better. Gets backwards to Jones.
Don't be selfish.
He's able to catch it.
Yeah, give it away, 77.
He runs with it back to the quarterback, and all of a sudden, 65 yards for the touchdown. Gentlemen, what a treat, right? Oh, no.
Let's take another look at that.
It's actually a trick. The officials ruled there was an illegal forward pass during the play. And with that, what better way to welcome you into the crew dressed up
did it?
like the college final football crew.
Stop the play.
Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Matt Barrie. Full highlights of that game coming up, plus the Big 12. Are they out of the playoff conversation? We'll get to Oklahoma State, Texas in just a bit. But first, the biggest story in the game on Saturday was the best player in the game sitting out because of COVID-19. Trevor Lawrence, Clemson out. DJ Uiagalelei getting the start. And Travis Etienne, they were down 14-7. Looked as if they were going to score, but Brandon Sebastian fumble, scoop, and score.
Etienne fumbles the ball, but that's on the true freshman quarterback, Uiagalelei. You got to put that football in the belly of the running back. He hit him in the neck with it, and as a result, Boston College up 21-7. Their DC loving it.
All right, so second quarter, 4th and 2. Joe Tessitore's son, John, comes in to hold for the field goal. And oh, by the way, Dad was on the call.
As they split out, Danny Dalton's a fake. Tessitore is under center on 4th and 2, and he got him to come off sides. John Tessitore came up and played quarterback at the last second, and they may get a first down out of this.
I love it.
Joe Tess, fired up.
They did get a first down out of it, Pop, and then Phil Jurkovec, CJ Lewis, what a grab. 28-10 at this
Boston
point.
College so relaxed. They won so many 50-50 balls in the first half. The 28 points is kind of scary for a Clemson defense.
And you see 28-10, you're like, oh my gosh, this is a beat down in Death Valley. Gut check moment time, 4th and 1 for Clemson. Uiagalelei fakes the handoff, 30-yard touchdown.
He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He looks and moves a lot like Dante Culpepper in my eyes.
First career rushing touchdown. Clemson down 8, under 7 to play. Third quarter, same score. Uiagalelei a dart to Amari Rodgers.
No doubt about the arm strength. That ball got there in a split second.
So third quarter, 1st and 10. Travis Etienne makes history with this run.
With this run, he becomes the ACC's all-time leading rusher, but he was a dual threat in this one. Also led Clemson in receiving yards.
Finishes the day big. 4th quarter, later in the drive. Congratulations to Etienne. What did he do on this play, Joe?
His center of gravity is so well in his legs. His ability to cut, his vision. A lot of guys have vision, but when they see it, they can't get there like Etienne. This is why he's the 2-time ACC Offensive Player of the Year, because when he sees a hole, he hits it as well as anyone in the country.
18-point deficit, the biggest home comeback in program history. Here's Dabo on Trevor Lawrence for next week.
Trevor will not be able to play. Just want to go ahead and get that out there. You know, he's doing great. You know, he Zoomed with the team last night, talked to him this morning. He feels like he could play today, so he's doing well. But obviously there's a protocol in place.
So they will get Notre Dame next Saturday with DJ Uiagalelei. All Notre Dame and Ian Book had to do was get through Georgia Tech, which it wasn't going to be hard. Joe Wilkins touchdown.
Okay, not a lot of deep balls throwing in this game for Book, but he was efficient. 18 of 26, got off to a good start.
And guys, this is what we see out of this Notre Dame offense. They drive down the field, they punch it in when they have to.
They're physical, over 20 yards rushing this game. Kyron Williams, 2 touchdowns. That's his 3rd multi-touchdown game this season.
But yes, they also have a defense.
They do. Dalen Hayes just rips off the line of scrimmage here, getting leverage and forcing the turnover. This defense only gave up 6 points to the Yellow Jackets.
12th straight win for Notre Dame. That is the longest active FBS winning streak. 31-13 the final. Notre Dame gets the win against Georgia Tech. So, gentlemen, it sets up the big matchup we've been waiting for. Both Notre Dame and Clemson come in unscathed from Saturday. I love that we can call this a conference ACC game. So, Jess, I'll start with you. We know Trevor's out. We saw Uiagalelei on Saturday play pretty well.
He did, and this will be a big challenge for the true freshman, making his first start on the road against an elite defense in Notre Dame. But based on what you saw against Boston College, they should be favored. There's a lot to like about his game. Tremendous arm talent. This on 3rd and 16. Watch the conviction. Guy on the left not there. Reload. You think there was any doubt where he was going with this? That is a laser into a small window. Amari Rodgers makes the play. But I loved this. Boston College blitzed him, and Uiagalelei had his answers. The line slanting, and they're sliding left. Boston College is going to bring a blitzer off the right-hand side. That means Uiagalelei's answer is Travis Etienne coming out of the backfield. He never hesitates, delivers a strike, and off they go. I think DJ Uiagalelei has a really good feel for offensive coordinator Tony Franklin's offense. So I think on the road against Notre Dame with DJ, this offense is going to be fine. I think what the question is going to be, though, Joey, is this Clemson defense. They're very, very banged up, a lot of injuries. How do they handle it?
Notre Dame don't want to hear about that banged up stuff. Here's what's interesting. The number 1 pick in the NFL draft is out, and you come out of this game, and offense is not your concern. The defense, giving up the 28 points in the first half. Boston College was 4 for 6 on 3rd down. Now, the questions were answered in the second half. There were 0 third downs. They held them to 60-some yards, and they didn't let them score. So going into this Notre Dame game, when you're watching a team in Notre Dame that is now finding a way to throw the ball while being physical with a really good offensive line, the question is, Clemson won't be able to come back like they did against Boston College. Right. They got to come out and play good early on, but there are some question marks on that defensive side. They have to get healthy, because if they don't, Notre Dame will run them over.
I'll tell you this, when it was 28-10, it wasn't DJ that was at fault for that one. He still had good numbers through that, was able to lead them coming back. And I'll tell you what, the one thing that we knew from Saturday, the one player that wanted to capitalize on Trevor Lawrence being out, perhaps in the number 1 pick conversation, the Heisman Trophy conversation, Justin Fields, who got the primetime audience on ABC all to himself. Buckeyes, Penn State, first quarter, Ohio State leading 7-0, 2nd and 3. Fields to Olave, 26 yards.
And this combination right here is absolutely lethal. Fields knows if he puts it up for Olave in a 50-50 situation, Olave's going to go up, make the play, get a foot down for a touchdown.
I'm telling you, electric. These two keep showing up every Saturday. I know it's their second, but they've shown up thus far. Jeremy Rucker to touchdown.
And Justin Fields, you see the way he's played the last 2 games. Now, the ball's not touching the ground very often. Real accurate, 28 of 34 in this one.
21-6 at the half. They never really felt threatened in the Buckeyes. And look at this one, 49 yards of greatness.
Olave had 7 catches for 120, but it's more about the throw. Outside, coverage right on the inside, there's nothing they can do because of the ball placement by Justin Fields.
28-13. Fields' parents love it. Why not celebrate? But like I said, Penn State would find a way back in here. And this became the Jahan Dotson show. What a catch.
And this is crazy because he made an unbelievable catch right before this on the same play. On this one, going up over what a lot of people think is going to be a first-round pick in Shaun Wade, and OBJ is that football.
8 catches, 144 yards, 3 TDs for Dotson. Then Fields hits Rucker, 1-yard touchdown. Again, when they got back in it, Ohio State was able to extend the lead. And then Clifford rolls out of the pocket. Marcus Hooker, pick 6, ball game.
Ohio State held Penn State to 44 yards rushing. If this team can't run the ball, they can't win. Ohio State shut them down.
Not a pick 6, brought down inside the 10. Nonetheless, Ohio State wins 2-0.
What's the scariest thing about this Ohio State offense?
I think everything, really. I mean, we really don't have a weakness, so I would say, just everything.
We got a lot of weapons. And the good thing is when you just have one guy, sometimes they can kind of take that away. But when you have several guys like that, and then you have the offensive line like we have in the running game, now, that really makes them play honest. In big games like this, when those guys play like this on this stage, it's big time. And this was a big stage. And this was kind of our moment to show everybody where we're at. And I'm proud of the way our guys played.
Joey, you heard him reference the run game. What did they do?
After week 1, there's some question marks about the physicality up front for Ohio State. Well, they answered that against Penn State with 200 yards rushing in this game. Master T gets his 3rd career 100-yard rushing game. And look what the offensive line does. They completely change the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get touched, so he's 5 yards downfield. If they can be this physical up front and run the ball they will be in that conversation with the Clemson offense, with an Alabama offense. What do you take away? You have to pick your poison now. If they can play like this, give the offensive line a lot of credit. This is the way people expected them to be, physical up front.
And I know we love that Master Teague, third career 100-yard rushing game. That player is a north and south runner. But Justin Fields, you know what? The quarterback, he's also cooking as well. 6th career game with 4 passing touchdowns, tied for second most in Ohio State history. Only J.T. Barrett is the only player with more for the Buckeyes. Other half of that notorious rivalry, Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan 24.5-point favorites against little brother. First quarter, Rocky Lombardi, 30-yarder to Ricky White.
Ricky White had 1 catch for 5 yards against Rutgers last week. 8 catches, $196 in that TD in this one.
Blake Corum would come back and tie it at 7 for Michigan.
And when Michigan runs the football, they're pretty good on the offensive side.
All right, so it's tied at 7 and thinking, here we go, maybe, perhaps they would come back. But Connor Hayward, again, touchdown.
Really like Connor Hayward, 230-pound physical running back, but has soft hands and can catch the football.
So Joe Milton and the Wolverines are going to have to work it again. 15-yard pass to Ronnie Bell down at the 1.
And Milton threw for 300 yards in this game. Come on, Ronnie Bell, get in the end zone.
Sets up a Corum touchdown, tied at 17. Lombardi to Hayward, big one.
They turned it over 7 times in a loss to Rutgers, but took care of the football in this game, and that was the difference. Throwing and running, showing balance on offense.
Mel Tucker joins Nick Saban as the only MSU coach to beat Michigan in their first meeting. How about it? Michigan State upsets Michigan 27-24. Reaction from Harbaugh afterwards.
Congratulations to Michigan State, but we got to own the loss and come back and find out where we can improve. This is a high character team, and I believe they'll do just that.
This game is very important. It's not just another game, and we all know that it's important to our players. It's important to our former players. It's important to all of our fans and our alums. And so, just very proud of our team, the way we bounced back. We took care of the football today. We played hard, played for 60 minutes. The guys believed. I'm just very proud of this football team.
Good for Mel Tucker. Jim Harbaugh continues to struggle against Ohio State and Michigan in his tenure at home. 1-6 since he's joined. That against Michigan State and Ohio State. Against everyone else, 29-0 in the Big House. Michigan travels to undefeated Indiana next weekend. Plus, the Big 12 only had one unbeaten team coming into Saturday. Would it stay that way in Stillwater? Find out next. Plus, Florida, Mizzou played football until they fought at halftime. You won't believe how it started. We'll show you next. We're off and running. This is College Football Final. Matt, Jesse, and Joey back with you. The last time Oklahoma State was a top 10 team at home, they lost to Kansas State. 2017, Saturday against Texas. Spencer Sanders to Tylan Wallace.
Tylan Wallace may be one of the best receivers in the country at 11 catches for 187 and 2 touchdowns.
Guys, 31-10 at this point. Separation starting to occur, but wait, Deshaun Jameson, 100 yards on the ensuing kickoff.
Crazy to think Texas hadn't beaten an AP top 10 team on the road since 2010. So they needed something to happen. They needed momentum, and they got it here on special teams from Jameson.
So they missed the extra point. Trail 31-26. LB Brown fumbles it. Joseph Osai tripped up on the return. Texas takes over after the turnover. Ensuing drive, 4th and 7. Needed it. Sam Ehlinger gives it to Jake Smith.
And Ehlinger didn't have a great day throwing the ball, just 169 yards, but he was really good late in this game.
All right, so 41 seconds left. Oklahoma State, 1st and 10, no timeout. Sanders, Dylan Stoner, 28
And a big key for this offense is Spencer Sanders being more efficient, throwing it. Career day, 400 yards passing and 4 TDs.
Sets up Alex Hale for a game-tying field goal. No college kicker situation here. We go to overtime. In OT, Texas ball, 3rd and 8. Ehlinger, huge to Josh Moore.
Oklahoma State thought they had a stop right here, but you'll see the defensive back gets his hand in there a little early. Pass interference.
Great read by Ehlinger to get the call, and then what's he do? Takes advantage.
Vintage Mike Yurcich play call as offensive coordinator. You saw this at Ohio State all year last year. This one to Moore, beautiful.
All right, so 1st and 10, Oklahoma State possession. We think they've got a touchdown. Great executed play. Jelani Woods scores.
Once again, let's go back and take a look. Offensive lineman downfield, bring it back.
So now 4th and 8, Osai chases down Sanders. ball game. And as Jesse alluded to a minute ago, first top 10 win on the road since 2010. Here's Tom Herman.
We're going to continue to get better. We're going to learn. This was not pretty. But, when you take the ball away 4 times and you don't take the ball or you don't turn it over at all, you give yourself a chance to win.
Loyal viewers of the program know that this is a virtual lock implication. Kansas State, West Virginia. Blake Lynch, 52-yard field goal, misses it. We're still tied at 3.
You start
West
to
Virginia,
highlight with a
K-State.
missed field goal.
It was a Jesse virtual lock. Kansas State plus points. Also, loyal viewers of the program knew I didn't like this one, but it doesn't matter. They didn't ask me. Jarrett Dagan to Ali Jennings.
The 26th straight game, Dagy's thrown a touchdown. That's the longest streak in college football.
Just teaching me how to Daggy. Will Howard deep to Malik Knowles.
Kansas State struggled on offense, just 225 yards, but they get a touchdown. Can they complete the comeback?
I am being told that this was the worst loss on the other side in virtual locks history.
And it's the first time true freshman quarterback Will Howard looked like a true freshman this year, threw 3 picks, and it cost him.
First win by a ranked opponent against a ranked opponent since 2018 for West Virginia. Iowa State, Kansas. Breece Hall knows how to play football.
Breece Hall's pretty good. He's fun to watch. 21 carries, 185, and 2 touchdowns. One of the better running backs in the country.
How about
this kid play?
You know what? That was 7 yards. It wasn't that impressive. This was 58
Here it
yards.
is.
You know what helps? You lose to Oklahoma State last week. You want to get your confidence back? Play Kansas. Run the ball. Brock Purdy off to a much better start in this game and a good bounce-back win for the Cyclones.
By the way, Hall, the first Big 12 player to record 100-yard-plus games in his first 6 games of the season since Adrian Peterson. Oklahoma and Texas Tech got out of hand quickly. Spencer Rattler deep to Austin Stronger.
Oklahoma scored 21 points in the first quarter, and this game was basically over from there.
35-7 Sooners, then Ramondre Stevenson.
Got guys back from suspension, including Ramondre Stevenson. You see the shirt, I'm back. Ronnie Perkins back on defense, and Lincoln Riley getting fired up.
A little bit of swagger there out of the Sooners. 62 points in a bad way. Now, look, we had started this segment by saying Oklahoma State, the last undefeated team in the Big 12. That no longer exists. So, Joey, I'll start with you. Big 12 still have playoff hopes.
The Big 12 had 2 teams ranked in the top 20. That was Oklahoma State at 6 and Kansas State at 16. Both teams lost on Saturday. I can't imagine how a Big 12 team now gets there. Oklahoma, Iowa State in the 20s. But when you look at this Big 12 conference now, in past years, we've always had a lot of chaos at the end. I don't think we're having chaos the way this season is set up so far. We got 3 really good teams. We got Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, really good. And then that next wave of some very solid teams like Notre Dame and Cincinnati. I can't imagine a path that is going to get any team out of the Big 12 back into the playoff conversation. It didn't start off good. The season, losing 3 games to the Sun Belt to begin for the Big 12.
Yeah.
And it was like, since then, they've been out of the conversation. Oklahoma State was keeping them in it. They just left the building.
Well, Oklahoma State's the only team left in the conference with 1 loss.
Yeah.
We've never seen a team with 2 losses reach the college football playoff, and it looks likely as though that is going to be the case inside the Big 12. I think Oklahoma State's a very talented football team. They still have to play Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy's 2-13 against the Sooners as head coach for the Pokes. And you watch Oklahoma now, Spencer Rattler's starting to take care of the football. Their defense is getting better. They're a different team. So you're right. I mean, you look at Alabama or Clemson or Ohio State, it's easy for us all to sit here and say they're not going to lose, but we do this every year. It is college football. Crazy stuff happens. They may get dinged up, but it's hard to imagine an ACC, SEC, or Big Ten champion finishing with more than 1 loss. So I think with Oklahoma State going down this weekend, that helps a Pac-12 undefeated team at the end of the year if they play 7 games. Maybe a Cincinnati.
Arizona
State.
State.
Maybe a BYU.
I'll tell you guys this, though. In a COVID season, we've already seen Wisconsin. We don't know what's going to happen with their season. If a team just stays healthy, plays all of their games, and one of the teams ranked ahead of them doesn't have anything, I wouldn't.
Well, you're right. If a bunch of teams can't play, the Big 12 got a shot.
We just don't know. Look.
Stop it.
The Big 12 teams, according to our all-state playoff.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, 1.5% chance.
Good one,
you know what I mean? Expect the unexpected. Try to be a company guy. Everyone's alive in the play. You know what? Yeah, Big 12's dead. All right, let's go to the SEC. Mississippi State, Alabama. Hey, happy birthday, Nick Saban. Turned 69 on Saturday. Only the 2nd time in his career he's coached on his birthday. Little Matt stat for you. Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, 35 yards.
Devontae Smith is pretty good. 31 career touchdowns now, and that ties Cooper and Doring for the SEC record in career touchdown reception.
No Waddle. Doesn't matter because Devontae Smith is still there.
I don't think another offensive coordinator other than Steve Sarkisian dials up more double moves for these receivers and their speed. They've got a bunch of guys that run great routes.
Since he caught the game-winning touchdown pass in the championship against Georgia, he has just turned into a special.
Do you have anything besides Devontae Smith, or is this just
No, this is
the Devontae Smith highlight?
Well, what we want to do is want to cue it up from Mel Kiper Jr. for his draft video.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, this is all you need.
Defense played better, by the way. Pitched a shutout.
I've got one for you.
DBs are doing good.
Mike Leach has never been shut out in his career. Nick Saban liked it.
I think the win is the best birthday present, but we have a lot to be thankful for. Great family, a lot of great relationships, and really appreciate the effort the players gave tonight. Well, I think we have a good team. We're going to play a lot of good teams down the road. How we do against them is going to say a lot about this Alabama team.
Saban, have birthday cake, glass of milk, smile, good win, happy birthday. Florida, Missouri. This game took on newsworthiness for something other than football. Kyle Trask to Kadarius Toney, spins, touchdown, Florida leads.
This is a great run, breaking tackles, get to the end zone, but let's get to the best part of this game.
Okay, so here we go. Last play before halftime, Trask is going to air it out, but the pass is broken up in the end zone, okay? That's not what happens. Don't worry about this. I want you to worry about
normal. We see that all the time.
Dan Mullins runs out on the field, isn't happy.
Get back, coach.
And then we fight.
And this is a fight. This is an actual fight. This isn't pushing and shoving. This is a fight.
Here's what ticked Mullins off. That's clearly a late hit on Trask.
It is. So the head coach goes out to protect his team. And you see players, Zach Carter from Florida, he's throwing punches. He's ejected for fighting. Antoine Powell also ejected from the game.
I mean,
Trey Williams from
Carter
Missouri,
took a two-piece,
he gets
too.
tossed.
This was, look, that's Marcos Otsi from Missouri. This is unbelievable. And then Mullen going at Eli Drinkwitz. Then Mullen comes back out of the tunnel, firing up the crowd. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So that was all before the half. Third quarter, they got back to playing football. Trask to Toney runs it in for the touchdown. Florida wins 41-17. Sets up Georgia, Florida in a big one. But here's Dan Mullen on the brawl.
Well, I think obviously it's tense. From my understanding, our guys thought they took a late hit at our quarterback. They're going to protect him. You know what I mean? That's their guy. And, I think they were going to protect him. I think both sides were trying to get people off the field, but everybody was a little edgy and probably went a little too far with it. It's an emotional game sometimes. I don't condone it. I'm not real pleased about how it all played out. I think the great thing, if you look at both teams, how they played the second half. You know what I mean? Is, hey, at halftime, I think I give Eli a great job. And, we got down and both teams calmed immediately down, go back and play some football.
All right, so that was Mullen on the field after the game. This is Mullen in his press conference, dressed like Darth Vader.
I don't condone it.
That is awful, Barry.
You didn't like my Chewbacca?
That should be $1, actually.
All right, well, Dan Mullen wins Saturday, I think. Georgia, Kentucky, Stetson Bennett, pass tipped, picked up by Phil Hoskins.
Stetson Bennett's only 5'11". We've seen tip passes leading to interceptions by D-linemen. That's been a problem.
2 picks on the day for Bennett. Doesn't matter when you have Zamir White.
And this is what Georgia does, run between the tackles. Zamir White, 6 straight games with a touchdown.
11-game winning streak against Kentucky. Bulldog. This game, it's not a Picasso. Look, it is what it is. All it did was preserve Georgia, Florida next week. The Bulldogs defense continues to carry them 14-3 to final. We continue our SEC whip. A&M hosting Arkansas. Kellen Mond, man, he's having a good season. Anaya Smith.
He's got some weapons. Anaya Smith, a guy that can play running back and wide receiver. And Jimbo Fisher's doing a great job finding different ways to get this guy the football.
Ties it at 7. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. Mond to Jalen Weidermeyer.
I agree with you on Kellen Mond. Let's get Todd McShay here and find out why Kellen Mond has fallen outside of his top 5 quarterbacks as far as NFL draft.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Kellen Mond's playing well, though.
Mond is playing well. Again, the Weidermeyer for the touchdown.
He's only a true sophomore, and this guy's been one of the best pass-catching tight ends in college football early early in his career.
How about history there? Mond passes Johnny Manziel for total yards in Texas A&M history. 9,999 and counting. Texas A&M now 9-0 against Arkansas since joining the SEC. But was it enough to get in to Joey and Jesse's top 5? 42-31 the final for Texas A&M. So who remains in the top 5? Clemson, Ohio State? Did Cincinnati make it in? Find out. Plus, bonus helmet sticker to our guy Austin Trammell right here. 3 touchdowns on the day. It's been tumultuous for Rice football, but Austin Trammell a star on Saturday. Application for the big one in the American. Cincy, Memphis, Desmond Ridder. Good pass to Alec Pierce.
And Ridder had a big day. When Ridder plays like this is why this Cincinnati team can be talked about for getting that 4th spot in the playoffs.
What about Ridder here? We know he can run it.
Yeah, this is what I like about his game. It's not just designed runs, but down in the red zone, you want to play zone coverage and lay back. If he finds a crease, he'll take off, and he's got speed.
And again, Joey, he had a good throwing day Saturday, but again, with his feet, he is dangerous.
They did, and Cincinnati ran the ball for 242 yards in this game, but give their defense some credit. This is the 2nd straight week they shut down a high-powered offense.
And it's proof of it right here. Sacking Brady White. Look, this is the best part. There was a thriller dance afterwards.
Did you mention it was a virtual lock?
I did, and you covered. Well done. Cincinnati, 17th straight win at home. And now let's take a look at who you guys think could be in with the college football playoff Capital One fan votes.
Well, we're officially through week 9, and remember, we will only rank the teams we've seen play, so no matter how hard Matt Barrie pushes, still no Pac-12 on our board. Jesse, start him off with number 5.
All right, I got a little switcheroo in my top 5. I had the Bulldogs number 4 last week. This week, I'm moving them down to number 5. Joey, love the defense, love the way they run the ball. But quarterback Stetson Bennett is starting to scare me with the interceptions. He threw 3 against Alabama, 2 against Kentucky. He's got to play better against the Gators next week.
I agree with you. I love the way Cincinnati's playing defense. Marcus Freeman has that defense flying around. They shut down SMU last week, shut down Memphis this week. Yeah. Ridder accounted for 5 touchdowns. If they continue to play this way, they will move up.
You got number 4?
At number 4, I'm going Notre Dame, if I can get the board to work. Continue to work on their passing game. Yeah. Again, Kyren Williams, 2 rushing touchdowns. They're a physical football team, great offensive line. Yep. Defense is solid. They're now still in my top 4.
I got Notre Dame at number 4 also. I'm not willing to say it's an explosive passing attack by any stretch, but Ian Book has been more efficient these last 2 weeks, and now they finally get their opportunity to prove that they're a college football playoff contender playing Clemson, who's got a bit of a banged-up defense right now. At number 3, I've got Ohio State, and I love that they're getting the running game going now. Master Teague over 100 yards. Justin Fields is not throwing a lot of incompletions. He's been extremely accurate. Defense, a bit inconsistent. I just don't think anybody can stop them right now because of how good they are on offense.
Yeah, I think we were both sort of waiting on Ohio State's offensive line and run game to get going. Master Teague over 100 yards, 212 yards rushing as a team. They were physical up front. Scores a little closer than you would like, but really they were outmatched in that game. They really ran over Penn State. And, of course, Alabama still explosive. And Clemson, close game this week.
Bama's defense is getting better. They're playing better in the secondary. Clemson has future NFL quarterbacks with long last names and a bunch of vowels.
And they play Notre Dame this weekend come up, so we'll get to learn a lot more about Clemson. And back to you, Matt Barrie.
That's a shakeup. You know who's always in the playoff? The touchscreen. It's undefeated against Galloway. Here's some of the games coming up next week. Notable games, including not pictured. Actually, there is one pictured from the Pac-12. They return to action. Don't forget to give your Capital One fan votes via the SportsCenter Twitter handle on Monday. Let's continue our fun with another virtual lock between North Carolina and Virginia. Joey got suckered into the Tar Heels. And, well, Virginia just put this one away pretty quickly.
Keaton Thompson, a transfer from Mississippi State. They've got him playing wide receiver, but he also plays down by the goal line some QB.
And how about Tony Poljan seems to get in this show quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm not really excited about this highlight, Barry, but Armstrong did throw for 3 touchdowns. Give him his credit.
There you go. Own your pick. Fourth quarter. Sam Howell throws left, finds De'Ami Brown. They did their best to come back.
Howell did look good throwing the ball. He threw 4 TDs. We know this is an explosive offense that can tote the rock. They had a hard time running it in this game, though.
All right, so Howell, 44-34, driving deep to Brown inside the 10-yard line.
If North Carolina can somehow bottle what they do in the fourth quarter, offensively and play it for 4 quarters, they'd be pretty good because they're good at coming back.
Bigger picture, though, there's 1 week they'll show up, and then 1 week like Florida State that they won't.
And their
trend.
defense just did not show up on this one. They could not stop the physicality of Virginia.
And so Virginia would put an end to Joey Galloway's.
This is on 4th and 4. It's a fake punt.
And they stopped it. They were in position, make a tackle.
But did they?
Nope.
No. Virginia wins 44-41. BYU, Western Kentucky. Speaking of climbing Todd McShay's draft board, Zach Wilson just slings the beam.
You'll be hearing Zach Wilson to Dax Milne all season long. You've heard it a lot already. That is the go-to guy in this passing attack.
And then here, Lopini Katoa takes it in 42 yards for the touchdown. 28-3 at that point. And I continuously say it every single Saturday when it's BYU after dark. They make football look easy. Wilson had 3 passing touchdowns in the first half alone. Oh, he also added one for rushing.
Comfortable in the pocket.
He's just good. So is BYU. Let's talk about them. Boise State and Air Force. Remember super recruit USC Jack Sears? Now plays for the Broncos.
He's like, I've waited a while. First play of this game, he actually threw a post for a touchdown. Right here, goes to the end zone, 26 yards to C.T. Thomas. 3 TD passes for Sears for the Broncos.
Guess what that sets up? The monster matchup, Boise State, BYU. Bring it in a big weekend of football. All Boise State 49-30. Still ahead. Indiana was looking to continue their hot start. Plus Purdue back in action. A little more Big Ten fun. And we didn't have a college kicker situation against Louisiana Tech. Why? Walk-off field goal for the win. Happy Halloween, folks. Crazy stuff. More coming. College Football Final. Indiana was the story in the Big Ten last week. What about Rutgers? They snapped a nasty conference losing streak. They met on Saturday, 3rd and 5. Noah Vedril drops back, picked off by Jonathan King.
And offensively, Rutgers was in a struggle. Vedral, 128 yards passing and 3 interceptions.
Schiano didn't like it, led to a Michael Penix touchdown. Indiana leads 13-7. Then Vedral hit as he throws, intercepted here by Jalen Williams.
Remember, in their win against Sparty last week, they took the ball away 7 times, but turnovers were the problem in this one.
Indiana ball taking advantage, Penix to tie Freifogel.
You haven't seen this left-handed quarterback play. Indiana, Penix is pretty fun to watch on the offensive side.
This is just a fun program to see how they're building Indiana up to whop Fillier.
Yeah, his accuracy was a bit up and down against Penn State last week. Whop Fillier is his go-to guy. He doesn't miss when he targets him.
First win for Indiana as a top 20 team since 1988. They also begin 2-0 in conference play for the first time since 91. The quarterback that year?
Trent Green. They get Ohio State next, so the party might be over.
Look at, just let them celebrate for a week. Purdue, Illinois, Grun Taylor runs right, gets hit. Jalen Graham recovers.
Because of COVID protocol, Illinois was down their first string and backup QB, so this was tough.
Yeah, they were down quite a bit. And then Taylor and Brian Hightower over the middle. Illinois now trails by 7. They gave it a good fight, but Aiden McConnell was big all day. David Bell, a huge catch.
David Bell had 9 catches for 122. As Purdue closed the door.
Purdue 2-0 on the season. They win 31-24. So Jeff Brom back on the sideline. He was out with COVID last week, but he is back. Northwestern and Iowa. Northwestern tried to start the season 2-0. Jesse Brown muscles his way into the touchdown.
Pat Fitzgerald wants to be a physical offense, wants to run the ball. They ran it 60 times. Tough sledding, though, against the tough Iowa defense.
Iowa big-armed quarterback Spencer Petras fires downfield, but he's picked off by Bryce Galloway.
Yeah, there were never more 5-yard plays in a single game in college football history. Neither team had 300 yards of total offense.
I tell you what, this is peak Big Ten football. Northwestern wins 21-20. Speaking of 20, it is 2020 vision. Everything hindsight's 2020, but we are going to look forward. And this weekend, congratulations, gentlemen. You've been waiting for it.
We have been waiting.
The Pac-12 returns, which means
as much as you, though.
All Power 5 conferences are in play. So let's take a look at some of the notable games in this conference in week 1. The big one Saturday.
Surprise.
Arizona State, USC, noon
Talk
Eastern.
about it, Barry.
And then you look down the slate. This is the last of the Power 5 conference to get in. And Jesse, I'll start with you. When you look at this grid and you look at this conference, What unit and what team are you watching?
I'm looking at the Oregon Ducks. And when you think Ducks, you're thinking a lot of points, right? Chip Kelly, Marcus Mariota, Justin Herbert. Oregon's defense is going to set the tone for them. That guy right there, Kayvon Thibodeau, the #1 player coming out of high school 2 seasons ago. He'll be a force off the edge. Oregon might have the best secondary in the entire country. They're led by Javon Holland. They're going to take the football away. This is going to be a tough unit and a tough team to score points against.
And I have my eyes on the USC Trojans. Matt, you mentioned they start with Arizona State. Keaton Slovis was a freshman last season, completed 72% of his passes, 3,500 yards, and he has some weapons coming back. St. Brown, Vaughn, 2 big play wide receivers. This is a team returning 9 starters on the defensive side, 8 starters on the offensive side. Is this the year that USC puts it together?
So traditionally it has been a USC league, but they've got a tough one against Jaden Daniels and Arizona State week 1. And look, we talked about this with the Big 12 earlier in the show, whether their playoff chances are dead or alive. Pac-12, can they get a playoff team?
We're in week 9. And we haven't seen the Pac-12 play yet. And we've had a lot of samples of a lot of other conferences, a lot of other teams. So they're going to have to make a statement. USC is talented enough with their playmakers to make that statement. They don't play Oregon in regular season. They got to come out on fire and get in everybody's household on their televisions and say, we belong.
The playoff selection committee is going to be getting a bunch of resumes from other Power 5 teams that are going to play 10, 11, maybe 12 games. So someone out of the Pac-12 has to put a strong resume together. They got to play a full slate of games. They're late to the party. 7 games in 7 weeks. Can't reschedule. COVID right now is spiking, and they need someone to go undefeated. They haven't had a team go undefeated in conference play since 2011, guys. So there's some talent in this conference. We know that. Oregon, USC, maybe Arizona State. Yeah. But they got to put that magic equation together.
6 games get you considered by the committee, so you have to get those in. You mentioned the COVID. There's so many wild things going on in this country
State.
In terms of what's happening. So what are the playoff chances according to our All-State playoff predictor? Oregon, which, by the way, you lose Justin Herbert. I don't know how you're still considered.
I think USC is their best chance once they get past Arizona State.
Well, guess what? We'll find out next weekend if the Trojans can get by Herm and the Sun Devils. We watched 27-plus games on Saturday, and there were so many good top plays. We only were allowed to pick 5. We'll show you what they were. And on the opposite end of that, there was the dumb, the blind, and the dollars. And you're going to get fined for it. Do something stupid, get called out. That's $1. Coming up next. All right, well, I don't remember asking, but good for you. Navy, SMU, this one all ponies. Tyler Levine.
SMU, great job running the football on this one. He runs into 5 Navy defenders, but the knee never hits the ground, pops up, goes untouched. 48 yards. Ulysses Bentley, they were a strong duo toting the rock. Pony, 51-37.
Shades of Craig James and the Pony Express. Final virtual lock. UCF, Houston. Can Joey finally call a game correct on Saturday? Dylan Gabriel loses the ball. Grant Stewart, scoop and score.
Yeah, the over-under in this game was in the 70s. They're not supposed to be playing any defense. What is Houston thinking?
7-3 lead early. Then Gabriel finally figured out he was Dylan Gabriel, Ryan O'Keefe.
Does anybody throw the ball deep more than UCF? No. 328 yards, 2 TDs for Gabriel.
And again, O'Keefe, second deep ball touchdown. Joey, how'd you feel about this one?
Felt pretty good. Wasn't pretty all day. UCF, 681 yards of total offense.
All right, gentlemen, so the final virtual locks tally are in. Joey gets the win there, 44-21. You guys, I mean, you're 1-1.
Yeah, I know. We're better.
Listen, people aren't losing money.
That's
but
true.
Joey and I have to do better.
Do I need to get involved?
No.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Yeah, take Arizona State.
Do I need to get involved?
Just read the shot sheet.
All right, there you go. 8-4, 6-5-1. Time now for That's $1. Do something that we catch that's funny or stupid on Saturday, you get $1. Including Kentucky having what appears to be a bottle of Jimmy Beam on the sideline. Old James Beam hanging out.
That'll help with the pain.
What are they going to do there?
How about Ty Van Fossen for Cincinnati? Gets a turnover. He's going to dunk on the turnover hoop through the legs. Jordan Doink misses. Look at his boy 34 right here. He's like, oh no. Finger roll next time for you, Van Fossen.
Dare to be.
That's $1.
How about the center for Texas, Derek Kerstetter? I mean, they're waiting on the snap. They're looking for it. Oh, there it is. Right off the left leg. Didn't quite make it to the back.
Ellinger's
That'll be $1.
That is $1. As he's running there.
This is a new part of the program.
Oh.
Pay attention here. This is the Matt Barrie Rudy Participation and Effort Award. Watch Alex Hale.
Get him, Barrie.
Go get him, Matt Barrie.
Barrie.
Go get him.
Get him.
Watch me.
Look at the arms flailing. Get him, Barrie.
Get the hammy.
That is unbelievable.
You know what it was? That kicker did not have a neck roll. He didn't have a neck roll. Otherwise, maybe he makes that.
We need that every week. The Matt Barrie Rudy Participation Award.
I'd have caught him.
Shoulder pads.
No, man. I could.
You would have taken a better angle.
Oh, man, I'd have taken a better angle. I'd have caught him.
Effort Award.
Oh, that was good.
Let's do that every week.
All right. Let's do top plays. I'd have caught him. That's all I know. That neck roll was everything but tough. Number 5, Missouri Western, Central Arkansas. Tyler Hudson. What's with this field? What play by Tyler Hudson?
The TV's not in color. Our TV just went out of color. But he climbs the ladder, though, dunks on a dude. Purple and gray all day.
I think that's the X-Pro 2 filter on Instagram. Number 4, San Jose State, Nick Starkle to Trey Walker. Oh,
did he get a foot down? This is an amazing body control catch. Which foot comes the right foot? That's a great play.
I'll tell you, this game had helmet sticker implications. We'll tell you who in a minute. Number 3, Zach Thomas, Appalachian State, Louisiana Monroe. You know something about Matt, he loves this. Josh Newton. Oh, my interception.
Just steals it from Josh Newton. Looks like he's beat on the go route. Thomas is like, I got this all day. Newton doesn't even turn around to locate the football. Just look what I found. And by the way, I'm going to run this out.
By the way, App State won, though. Phil Jerkovic. Look, this is when it was 28-10 because of C.J. Lewis. It's a nice catch.
Yeah, and right now, Boston College starting to celebrate. We got a chance at knocking off Clemson at, how about that catch before it hits the ground?
Have we seen a better catch, though, number 1?
No. He's now the go-to guy for Sean Clifford. This is over one of the best cornerbacks in college football, and Sean Wade just goes up, palms the football with the right hand. I don't think the left ever even touched it.
I was in
OBJ.
Amazing. Wait, why are we showing Eli Manning at Ole Miss? Well, we're going to explain that coming up next. And you know what? College kicker situation deserves a bonus helmet sticker because I'd have caught him. It's the most prestigious individual award in
Get him, Barrie.
Helmet stickers coming up next on College. More Sun Belt fun. Coastal Carolina, Georgia State, Grayson McCall back for the Chanticleers. Say it with me, Chanticleers.
Chanticleers.
You know they're called the Chanticleers?
Yeah, Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina going for their 6th straight win. And McCall, you said he's back. He threw for 4 touchdowns in this game.
Chanticleers were good on Saturday. 51-0 shutout. Jamie Chadwell, celebrate. Defensive coordinator gets back.
You say.
Shants. Say it with me. Oh, man. I didn't see this coming between LSU and Auburn. TJ Finley, again, the true freshman, gets the start. Sacked. Christian Tutt. Scoop. Score.
Finley looked so good last week in their win against South Carolina, throwing and running it, but had turnover issues. 3 on the game. He got benched for Max Johnson.
And Bo Nix showed up, finding Anthony Schwartz 91 yards.
Throwing the ball to somebody besides Seth Williams, threw for 303 touchdowns in this game.
Guys, this may have been rock bottom for LSU on Saturday.
LSU's defense is atrocious.
They got absolutely pummeled, 48-11. All right, so we showed you Eli Manning before the commercial break. Here's why, because Matt Corral had a big day. In fact, how big was it against Vanderbilt? He opened a game with 19 straight completions, passing Eli Manning for the longest streak in a game in Ole Miss history. That was back in 2001. He was effective.
Yeah, he was. He's been a bit Jekyll and Hyde this year. You know, there's the 6-pick game against Arkansas, but then he threw 6 TDs in this one. He's got a lot of good weapons, too. How about Elijah Moore right here? 14 catches, 238 yards, and 3 TDs.
28-yard touchdown pass there. This one was never in doubt. It was just about history. Corral already with 5 touchdown passes. Make it 6 here to Kenny Yeboah.
Yeah, Vanderbilt didn't put up much of a fight. Anchor frown.
6 TD passes ties Eli Manning for the most of the game in Ole Miss history. Time now for the best part of the program. Helmet.
Travis Etienne, 84 rush yards, 1 touchdown, 140 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Passed Ted Brown for most rushing yards in ACC history. Also broke the record for 42nd career games with a touchdown.
A lot of records. Joseph Ossai for Texas, guys, was a monster against Oklahoma State. 12 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. He's going to be a first-round pick. He was everywhere.
Nick Starkel, quarterback, San Jose State, 467 yards, 5 touchdowns. The Arkansas and A&M transfer showed up. San Jose 2-0 for the first time since 1987.
Ricky White, 8 catches, 196, 1 receiving touchdowns. Michigan State beat Michigan. That's the second most by a receiver. Michigan State, Michigan game. Plaxico Burress,
Desmond Ridder, quarterback of Cincinnati, only 5 incompletions against Memphis, also accounted for 5 touchdowns. The best I've ever seen him throw the football.
People can be hard on Bo Nix, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Almost 400 yards total offense, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and the beat down of LSU.
This was an FBS record, by the way, for ETN on the 42 games.
Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, son.
Guess what's back? The Pac-12.
Get him, Barry.